Supreme Court issues urgent deadline in landmark Obamacare case, potential major impact on preventive care. The U.S. Supreme Court issued a crucial deadline on Friday in a case that could alter the future of no-cost preventive health services under the Affordable Care Act, ACA, also known as Obamacare. The case, titled Kennedy v. Braidwood, centers around the legality of the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, USPSTF, which plays a significant role in determining the preventive medical services insurers are required to cover at no cost to patients, such as cancer screenings, statins for cholesterol management, and HIV prevention drugs like PrEP. This case could affect up to 150 million Americans who rely on these services and medications. Key legal issue. The case was filed by conservative Christian employers in Texas, challenging the constitutionality of the USPSTF. These plaintiffs argue that the task force's members are not properly appointed according to the Constitution because they are not confirmed by the U.S. Senate. The plaintiffs contend that this lack of Senate confirmation renders the task force unconstitutional, questioning its legal authority in setting mandatory health coverage guidelines. The task force's recommendations are pivotal as they influence insurers' obligations to cover a wide array of preventive health services at no cost. This has widespread consequences for the public's access to affordable health care. The plaintiff's lawsuit could therefore result in a dramatic reshaping of preventive care accessibility in the U.S., especially for those who depend on these free services. The Supreme Court's new order. In response to the ongoing legal battle, the Supreme Court issued an order that requires the parties involved to submit additional briefs by May 5 at 2 p.m. The new briefs must not exceed 15 pages and should address a specific legal question: whether Congress has by law vested the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, with the authority to appoint members of the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, in accordance with Article 2, Section 2, Clause 2 of the U.S. Constitution. This legal inquiry centers on whether the appointment process for the task force's members adheres to constitutional requirements, particularly concerning the involvement of the Senate in confirming appointments to critical government positions. Trump administration's position. The Trump administration, which is defending the ACA in this case, argues that the Secretary of Health and Human Services has the legal authority to remove members of the task force, thus negating the need for Senate confirmation. The administration maintains that such oversight ensures accountability while preserving the task force's independence. Despite this, conservative legal representatives argue that if board members can be removed at the discretion of the HHS secretary, they are not truly independent, a position that has garnered some support among conservative justices on the court. During oral arguments, Justice Samuel Alito highlighted the issue, stating, "If somebody is removable at will, that person is not in any ordinary sense of the term independent." What's at stake? The case has profound implications not only for the future of preventive care under the ACA, but also for the broader scope of executive power in appointing members to influential federal bodies. A ruling in favor of the plaintiffs could undermine the structure of the Affordable Care Act and potentially strip millions of Americans of essential health services without cost sharing. Justices Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett, along with the court's liberal members, appeared skeptical of arguments challenging the task force's constitutionality. These dynamics suggest that a ruling in favor of the Trump administration is likely, though it remains to be seen how the court will resolve the issue once all additional legal arguments are submitted. The road ahead. The court is expected to issue a final ruling later this year, after the new deadline for briefs has passed. This decision will have lasting consequences for the future of preventive health services under the Affordable Care Act, which could impact millions of Americans' access to critical care. The outcome will also shed light on the broader constitutional questions regarding the power of executive appointees and the separation of powers within the U.S. government.